about something that is very dear to my heart. Healing from a difficult childhood. The other day, I was going through a list of what a difficult childhood looks like, and I realized, oh my, it's like I've experienced all of them. It's like I could relate. I realized I've actually been through almost all the experiences that had been listed in that difficult childhood. And I was like, oh my goodness, how strong am I? And anyway, that's still okay. Here I am. I have not died. I have not died. I'm here. I'm healing. Maybe I've healed a little bit. I'm thriving. I'm shining. And I do not let it hold me. And that's why I'm here today. We speak about difficult childhood. If you've ever felt like maybe your childhood was so difficult, maybe it was so hard, or maybe you've grown, but deep down, you're still that little girl, that little boy who is very scared and who is still making decisions as if you're still at that age where you used to be frightened, you are not alone. You are in the right place because here we share our stories and we heal, we laugh, and we grow together. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Bryce. This one is just not another star. This one is beautiful, bold, brave, bright, brilliant, and a little extra. Bright by name, bold by purpose. Bright by name, star by nature. Built from grace to grace, rising through scars and refusing to dim. In this channel, I am not just Bryce. I am your online bestie. Here we laugh, we grow, and we shine together. If you are looking for the laughter, or the lessons, or just a little extra, or something to just make your day bright, this is the right platform for you. Life is too short for you to dim your light. If you've ever lost your light, I hope you find some of it here. Because here, all we do is all things bold, all things bright. When you hear of a difficult childhood, what comes in your mind? What is that one memory that triggers you? What is that one thing that you remember? Please share with us. Remember we said here, we grow and we learn together. Tell me, what is that one memory or one experience that makes you feel like you had a difficult childhood? What do you mean when we talk about difficult childhood? Difficult childhood comes in different shapes and forms, okay? And just to set a few examples, maybe you had to become an adult when you were very young. And that means you did not have a chance of being a child. You were busy parenting people around you, your siblings, your parents. And most of the time, this comes from having a dysfunction family where your family maybe was struggling with alcoholism or your parents were fighting, there's neglect, there's abuse. And as a child, you had to put the fact that you were a child, behind you and focus on taking care of everyone. But the reality of the matter, that was a difficult childhood because you were a child yourself. You needed parenting, but you had to become a little parent. It can also mean constant instability. And this is maybe your family kept moving from one state to another, or one village to another, or one place to another. And sometimes it's just not about the movement. It's not about the structure. It's just that you never had a permanent home, a place where you felt safe. There was never stability in your life. It could also be lack of emotional support. And that means as a child, when you cried, you were told to stop crying, or your parents were not all, your guardians were not concerned about you. Like they just didn't care about, whenever you needed something, you had to figure it out on your own. There was no feeling understood, feeling like someone could see you, or feeling heard. So you just did not have any emotional support. It could also mean a very difficult background, or let's say poverty and lack of basic needs, where you had to figure out as a child where to get basic needs like food. You'll go to school without lunch, or you probably could not afford basic needs. So you could not afford what other kids had, school uniforms and stuff like that. That's difficult childhood. It could also mean abandonment and rejection. I don't want to talk about that one right now. That's a whole topic that needs another topic by itself. But maybe you are left with, family members or even strangers to take care of you because your parents were unable to take care of you. And as a child, you felt it was very difficult for you because you used to feel you were a burden to these people. And so you constantly had to live with different people, and maybe your parents were actually there physically, but they were never there emotionally. Maybe they were just, you had these parents who were there, so you just didn't have someone to be there for you. Or let's say this one, I cannot relate to this because I am the only child. I'm the only child, but there is a favoritism part of it where some parents favor a child. So you are that child who was neglected in your own home. Like your parents liked this particular child and not you, so you are neglected as a child. There is a long list of what a difficult childhood looks like. And I don't know if I can go through all of it, but I know, probably. I don't know whether to keep mentioning, but yeah, we can go on. It could be emotional trauma, where you were bullied in school or outside home, but at home there was no support system. And so you had to constantly pretend that you were okay and that you did not have any weakness. And you tried so much to be the perfect kid or to be the kid who did everything right because you are craving for approval that actually never came. It could also be harsh discipline where you were beaten mercilessly or you were punished severely for a very small mistake, and all your small mistakes were magnified, and no one ever said when you did something right, but they would magnify these small things that you will do wrong. And so as a child, you grew up with fear instead of love, and you would always feel like your worth was dependent on you being obedient only. And so you tried as much as possible not to be yourself. So you never discovered who you are or who you were meant to be because you're constantly performing and constantly living in fear. It could also be neglect of basic needs, where no one checked your homework, no one showed interest in whatever you did, or you had to figure out basic needs at a very early age by yourself, or you just had to figure out how to survive. No one was there. Something like medical care, it was neglected. There was no one to take you to the hospital, no one to take you to be checked, probably because they did not have the funds or just they were not there emotionally. It could also be lack of parental support. No, let me not put it like that. Let's say lack of love and affection. Okay? So no one ever told you, I love you. No one ever told you, I care for you. No one ever told you you're special. Again, no one ever hugged you. Parents who are giving you this silent treatment, or in your home you guys were living like strangers. And when I say parents, I mean both guardians and whoever who raised you. And so you've grown to be an adult who does not know how to deal with affection, because the only affection you know is when you did something wrong. And because when your mistakes happened, they were magnified and you were never told congratulations. You are now an adult who have had a very difficult childhood. Can I hear an amen? Can you relate in any of those things? Can you relate in any of those things? Have you had a difficult childhood? Or you are just among the few? There are few classes of people who actually never experienced difficult childhood. If you are in that class and you've watched this video until here, I salute you. I don't know what you are doing here. I think you should have just scrolled. But if you are here, I need you to know that you are very blessed if you did not have a difficult childhood. Some of us are just trying to heal from that childhood, or we've healed, but we're still those adults that we are trying so much to heal from that difficult childhood. So you are here, you had a difficult childhood. What do you do next? Remember, we always say that we cannot change the past. The past can only shape us and it can only make us to be who we are, but we cannot stay there. We have to let it go so that we move forward and focus on the bright future that we are supposed to have. So where do you stay? Where do you stay? Now you had a difficult childhood. Now you're an adult and you're trying so much to be a better person. Where do you stay? Acknowledge the pain. You cannot heal what you keep denying. Sometimes healing starts with you being honest with yourself. Remember, you do not have to be honest with all those people who are around you, but you have to be honest with yourself. You have to tell yourself, okay, I went through this. It was painful. It shaped me. It broke me. It made me spend a lot of my early years maybe lost and depressed and anxious. But you know what? You know what? I do not have to stay there. And I am not staying here. You just have to be honest with yourself. Okay? You just have to be honest and acknowledge that it hurt and it stings. And sometimes you just actually have to accept it. You wish you had a better life, but it's okay you do not have. You can actually build a better life for you and for your children. Once you acknowledge, that's the first step of healing and moving from a difficult childhood. Reparent yourself. You used to be a kid back then. Now you are an adult. And you have to start learning how to parent yourself. You have to start learning how to treat yourself how you wish someone treated you as a child. And you don't have to do much. Sometimes you just have to start with daily affirmations. You just have to start telling yourself words of affirmations. You have to tell yourself that you're beautiful, that you're talented, that you have what it takes to be whatever you want it to be. You just have to start telling yourself things that you wish your parents did to you or told you. You just have to look at your past and say, okay then, if I was a parent with that child that I used to be, what would I do differently to my child? And now you start doing that. You start celebrating yourself every time you do a small win. Yes. You start actually being the parent you never had. You start buying yourself small gifts. You start teaching yourself how to love yourself. You start being kind to yourself every day, because sometimes you never had that parent that you wanted, but you can actually be that parent to yourself first before you become parent to someone else. And in case you're healing the child in you when you're already a parent, I'm sending you hugs. I understand there's already someone else who you're taking care of, but also you can still be kind to yourself as you parent your kids and parent yourself too. And while at that, also get partners who parent you. Don't get partners who ignore the child in you. Remember, there's that part of you that is still healing. So have a conversation with your partner and let them understand that you're still healing, and let them treat you as a baby that you wish someone treated you when you were younger. Forgive. When it comes to the forgiveness issue, it's normally a controversial one, but I want you to know this. You can actually forgive someone, but that doesn't mean you tolerate abuse or you keep on tolerating their toxicity or their nonsense around you. Forgiving actually frees you more than it frees them. So you just have to okay, you've acknowledged and accepted that this happened, but you also need to forgive those who actually made you have a difficult childhood. Because you are a child, you deserved protection, you deserve love, you deserved all the good things in life, but you went through difficult things, and that means there were people who are involved, okay? You have to forgive them. You have to write a list. You can actually, this is my favorite, when you write letters to the person who hurt you or to the people who hurt you, write letters and then burn them or even store them. Don't send them. And that way, you are actually able to forgive them. In my case, I've had to forgive a lot of people. I had a difficult childhood, but the most difficult one that I had to do was my mom. And so I took time to heal by myself. I took time. I wrote letters to myself. I wrote books. I cried. I crashed at night. I healed. I was ready 4 years before I met her. And when I did, I was already healed and I had already moved on. So it was easy for me because I had chosen to walk that path alone without her in the picture. And so when I brought her on board, it was easy because I had healed. Once you heal, no one can have power over you. So you need to heal and then forgive. But don't rush yourself to forgive. Because I know sometimes we say, you have to forgive, No, take your time. If it's 10 years before you forgive someone, well and good. If it means 20 years, if it means never, I pray it happens and you forgive so that you can be free. So that pain doesn't kill you. But it's very important to just write down who hurt you and start the journey of healing and forgiving them. You will be so free. Like right now, when I'm walking, I feel like I have a very light weight on my shoulder as compared to before I forgave my mom. So once you forgive, it frees you. And while at it, when you're forgiving people, I want you to forgive without expectations. Forgiving does not mean reconciliation. They can stay from a distance, okay? But sometimes what hurts people, especially people who had a very difficult childhood, is forgiving someone and expecting them to live up to that forgiveness. You feel like, okay, I did you a favor, and then you need to act according to a particular way. No, remember, it's for you. You are healing you. And whether they choose to heal or not or move on, that's their problem. So if they come in your life and you try to forgive them, or you reach out to someone and tell them you've forgiven them and they have not accepted it, that's not your problem. Build safe relationships. If you have a difficult childhood or you had a difficult childhood, one area you will really, really struggle, and I can say I am an evidence. No! I'm even stammering because that's difficult to say. I am actually a serious evidence that if you come from a difficult background, you're gonna struggle a lot with building safe relationships. Remember, your trust was broken as a child. You do not trust anyone. You just want to be in this safe space. I hope I don't get anxious by talking about this. But anyway, you just want to be in this safe space so that you close yourself and you do not want anyone in your bubble. So what that means is that you're gonna not have safe people around you. You have to open your heart again, and that's difficult. It doesn't matter what it will take you. You just have to either choose to go to therapy, journal, as we said, watch videos online, read books that help you heal until you're okay to trust and feel safe around people. You have to build people that you can call when you're down. You have to build people that you can actually be with. You actually have to build those relationships. And relationships and friendships and whatever, you have to invest in it. And if you have a broken childhood, you do not want anyone. You look at the world from a broken vessel. You think like people are going to hurt you. And so you're always trying to protect yourself. But remember, no man is an island. You need people. So you need to build trusted group of mentors, friends, family. Family doesn't have to be by blood. When I say family, I don't mean blood. I mean just people around you that you can call your support system. And unlike a child who grew up in a very stable background, and they are so easy to, you just get in relationships and, friendships and all that, you're gonna struggle. But as we said, in this place, we heal and we grow. It doesn't matter how much you struggle, you can actually put the effort to build safe relationships around you. And you see, when you let go of the unsafe relationships that were in your childhood, you need to fill those spaces with people who are happy for you and people who are rooting for you. And it's going to take you time, but it's doable. Protect your inner child. If as a child you never got a chance to play, to dance in the rain, to go out and just be a child and play in the mud, please do that right now. It doesn't matter the age. You can always cover yourself with a mask and go and play with the mud. No one is going to judge you. Of course, some people will. But you need to do those things that you wanted to do as a child and you never got a chance to do them. Go for ice cream dates. For myself, I had Pussycat when I was a teenager. And I had Pussycat for like 4 years of my teenagehood. And people, of course, used to criticize me. But it was important for me to be that child that I never was as a child. Like, I really wanted to have this Pussycat. So I would have pink hair here. And right now, what is it that I'm doing that I never had? I love buying myself chocolates. And I love buying myself ice cream. And I love just buying myself small gifts. Like, I am tending to the child that I never was. And it's okay to do that at whatever age. Like, please, protect your inner child. And just know that it's okay that that child never got to be a child. But it doesn't matter the age you are in. You can actually choose to be a child again. You can play sports. You can just do some things that heal your inner child and protect that child. And by doing so, it also means you do not let anyone take you back to that child you used to be. You do not let anyone around you who threatens you, who beats you, who abuses you, who is not emotionally present, you do not let that. Like, you become very strict with what you allow in, because you know deep down this body might be growing, but there's this child who needs gentle care, and the only person who is allowed to come in is the one who understands that. Break the shame. You know, the saddest thing about having a difficult childhood is you grow up feeling it was your fault, like you failed, like you should do better, that you are too emotional, you are too sensitive. News flash. It was never your fault. You are a child. You did not have to bear the mistakes of adults. It was never your mistake. You just have to tell yourself it was never your fault and understand it was never your fault. You break that shame and you break free. Once you accept it was not your mistake and you're just a child who needed protection, but unfortunately you did not get that, you start being okay with accepting that this happened. So if you're going through the first step, which we said you accept, but you're not in a position to accept, start breaking the shame, the stigma around it. Maybe you were told never to speak about it, that this happened to you, this happened to you. Start. You don't have to tell a group of people, but you can write to yourself. Do videos, start YouTube and tell us your story. Like, do something that makes you feel like, it's okay, this is my safe space. And once you do that, you will be surprised at how the burden you carry in your chest of the difficult childhood you went through will be so lighter, because you will know someone failed you somewhere. It was never your mistake. It was never your fault. It doesn't matter what happened. It was never your fault. Break the generational patterns. Okay, sometimes you just have to decide that you will be the person that this pain ends with. Like, do not pass this pain or carry it forward to your children or to those around you. You have to say, it ran in my family until it ran into me. So it stops here. And that is what I have decided. I decided, oh, well, you know what? My family is quite a lot of work. My family is a lot of work. But I said, oh, it just ends with me. I am not getting a child unless I'm fully healed. I am not getting a child that will be dysfunction like I was. I'm not getting a child that will go through depression. I am not doing that. I will work on myself so much. I will heal my childhood until I'm in a position to have a child. And I had a pact with God. I was like, God, if you want me to have a child, cool. You're going to have to heal me. You're going to have to make sure that I become financially stable. Yeah, that's very important, because I grew up very poor. I become financially stable, and I heal and let go of the pain I have, because I am not about to traumatize another kid like my mom traumatized me just because I was not ready to have that child. Now it's all happening here, and I think you can make that decision. You can decide that the pain ends with you. And you know something else that I did? I think this is a little bit personal, but because we are here learning and sharing our experiences, let me tell you what I did. I observed. I took a book and a pen. I sat down for like a year and I observed my grandmother's patterns. I observed my grandmother's patterns. Like, I sat with my grandma, and now that my mom is back in my life, I'm also observing her patterns. And I'm like, okay, my grandmother overgives. I am not doing that. Like, I was also overgiving. I was following that pattern of overgiving. I'm like, hey. That ends with me. I'm like, my grandmother, you know, she forgot herself. She never used to, you know, like, she never had a life outside marriage. I was like, hey, I am going to have a life outside marriage. And even if I become a rich housewife, okay, wait, I have a business, so that's not a possibility. But even if I become a rich housewife, I'm still going to do YouTube. Like, I'm still going to have something running for me. I am not going to get married and sit and depend on that. But, like, you have to look at the patterns in your family. I looked at the patterns in my family, like, okay, they were having children when they were both young. I am not having a child unless I'm, past 30. Because I am not returning these patterns in my family. So you have to look at the patterns. Look at the patterns of your mom, your grandmother. You're going to see a pattern clearly that you're following. And then you have to decide, hey, this ends with me. This ends with me. So you are the one to break your generational pattern. Because if you don't want your child watching this video 10 years from now and wanting to know how to heal from a difficult childhood. No, we are not doing that here. We are having children. We are raising children that are whole and safe, and they know that they are loved at home, and they do not have trauma. Our children will not have trauma. We carried that sin for them. We carried that pain for them. So why? You have to heal. You have to heal, and you have to break that pattern. And you can do that through a lot of things. You can either go through therapy. If your child was so complex, you can do therapy. Therapy will help you. Or if you do not have the funds for therapy, journal, watch videos, educate yourself. Like whatever it takes to get out of it, you just have to like sit down with yourself and decide, okay, this pattern, no. This one, no. Like you have to unlearn everything you learned as a child for you to live a healthy life. And while at that, I think it's very, very important to learn to set boundaries. If you had a difficult childhood, if there's one area you're going to struggle, and a lot of people actually struggle until they pass away or they die, is setting boundaries. You know, if you did not learn how to say no as a child, you did not learn how to have a boundary, you're gonna grow up thinking that saying no is something to be guilty of. So you end up saying yes. You become like a yes person. Can you do this for me? Yes. Can you do this for me? Yes. And what that means is that you will end up overgiving and oversharing and overdoing. And what that means is that you end up depleted. There are two boundaries you're going to have to learn if you had a difficult childhood. There's a boundary with yourself and boundary with others. And when I mean boundary with ourselves or yourself, it means that you also have to sit down and redefine what love means. Okay, are we together? Are we together? Oh, this class is too difficult today. You have to redefine what love is to you. And if you grew up in a toxic home or even in a very difficult background, sometimes you tend up to think that toxicity and chaos and fights is what love is. You crave for that because that's what you got as a child. You got a lot of confusion and fights and just a lot of pain, and you now start craving that in romantic partners or in people around you. Like if someone does not give you pain or does not make you cry or does not break you, that is not love. You do not even love them. So you have to have a boundary with yourself and decide, okay, fine. What I knew as a child is chaos and fights and all this, but that's not love. I am redefining. My boundary with myself is that anytime I feel like I'm crossing the boundary here and I'm going to people who are toxic because that's what I knew as a child, I am stepping back. Like this boundary I don't cross. I am going to learn that safe love does not mean chaos. I am going to learn that it's okay for me to be in a relationship that we don't have to fight every day, or I don't have to cry every day, or I don't have to feel as if I have to constantly overgive or overcompensate for me to be accepted. And once you have a boundary with yourself, you're going to have to practice. Don't think you're just going to write it down and it happens overnight. No, it's going to happen like you practicing and practicing. And once you're done with it, you're going to have boundaries with everyone else, where you define what is it that it's okay for you to give, for you to do, and for you to be to other people, and sit down with yourself and say, it's okay. I can only give this amount of money this year. I can only give this amount of emotional support to people this year. I can only do this and this year, but I cannot overstep. So you don't go against those boundaries. And myself, I think I need a whole Netflix show or even a commercial, something that I will tell my story, because I have been a victim of that. Since I was a child, I had to perform, I had to prove myself. I had to be the number one student since the first day in school. I had to be the top student. I had to be the most hardworking girl. I had to be I will get accolades. And because these accolades, I felt it will make me be appreciated by my family. But then now as an adult, I came to this world with a very innocent mindset, and I got friends who really, made sure they took advantage of me. Like I lost a lot of money. I gave up money. I was struggling in business because I am trying to save people. I have made mistakes where boundaries is concerned. And honestly, even if you've taken so much time to learn this, who is talking about me? I hope they're talking about me in a nice way, because why do I feel like this? But anyway, as I was saying, even if you struggle with that area, I cannot judge you, because I keep saying, I'm going to have boundary, I'm going to do this, and then I keep going back. So what I've learned from my story is that unlearning patterns and putting boundaries takes time. You're going to keep on fumbling, you're going to keep on going back to the same mistakes, But it's doable because right now, actually, I feel like this week alone, I said actually like 3 no's. And I'm like, hey girl, I am so proud of the girl you turned to be. And one of those no's, I said it to someone who I probably had an interest in, and I was like, okay, cool, I do not have a budget for that. I was like, oh my goodness, Brad, you've grown. You've actually grown. You're saying no to even people that you thought, like, I'm okay with losing people than losing myself. And I'm also putting my dreams first because I've never done that. I've worked for 3 years now. This is almost the 4th year. But I was always putting everyone's dream. And I realized the other day, I was like, if I don't change that, girl, you're going to wake up 10 years and you have nothing to show. And we said about patterns, and I will be back to poverty in my family. So I was like, no, for this 1 year and the next 1 year, I'm investing in myself. And it's okay for me to tell people no until I'm in a position to give them from my cup when it's overflowing. So right now I'm filling my cup because I've never filled it. And I hope you learn a lesson from there. Start now. Don't be like me, who runs a big business and at some point I was always broke because I'm saving people. Rewrite your story. Do not let your childhood be your ending. It's actually a start of a bigger story. Sometimes the best thing you can do with this life is to use pain to fuel your purpose. You went through a difficult childhood? Okay, well and good. Sometimes you will feel you've healed 100% completely and you'll be excited. And then the following day, you'll feel like a 10-year-old. You just have to accept that healing is not something that will be one line, but you're still healing. And then you decide that you're rewriting your story. You decide that you're going to connect spiritually, like you're going to read books, meditation, you're going to pray to God. You are going to start a new chapter for yourself and for your future generations. You have to rewrite your story. You do not have to let yourself dwell on that pain forever. And I think that's what I'm doing. This channel, actually, I've started it to rewrite my story. I was like, I've always wanted to do YouTube. Let me do YouTube to look and inspire like-minded people like me. I'm rewriting my story. I'm like, I am very anxious. I get super anxious when I'm doing videos. And the reason I get anxious is because I've had quite an unstable life. Like, I've been so unstable all my life since I was a child. Like, unstable, moving from home to home, my hand, I don't know what, my mom living, alcoholic home, like fights, chaos, I have to sleep at the neighbors. And all that made me anxious. So I end up struggling with a lot of anxiety. But what am I saying? I am saying, hey, anxiety, you've got nothing on me. Depression, you've got nothing on me. If it means I stay indoors to record and I have just an indoor studio to record and I don't have to go outside, I am rewriting this story because I feel like I have a message to share with a lot of people, but I keep on stopping myself because of anxiety. I am rewriting my story. I have decided that it doesn't matter the pain I went through. I am going to share my pain and my journey so that I encourage other people like me. And I think that's what you should do. Always ask yourself, how can I rewrite my story? And trust you me, you've got so much powers that you don't even know exist. So much powers that are within yourself, and they're just waiting for you to unleash. You have talent, you have gifts, you have whatever it is that God gave you. And you have the ability to start today rewriting your story. Be patient with yourself. I know this is a difficult one, but you have to be patient with yourself. You have to be gentle with who you are becoming and the journey you are taking. Remember, you did not break overnight, so you are not going to heal overnight. This was years of constant pain and abuse and pain and challenges. So why are you thinking that you're gonna fix that in one day, in 1 week, in 1 month? It's gonna take time because these are things that were rooted in your mind for some time. And being patient yourself means you will be okay with being happy today and breaking tomorrow. You'll be happy with finding your joy. And you will be happy with allowing yourself to be happy again. You know, sometimes if you had a difficult childhood, being happy feels as if it's a punishment, like you do not deserve it. You deserve it. Who said you don't deserve it? Who said you do not deserve it? You actually deserve it so much. And you have to allow yourself to feel joy. And while at that, please find your voice again. What voice did you have as a child? What dream did you have as a child? What plans did you have as a child? You know, I have come to realize when we are kids, We know what gifts and talents God has put in our hearts. But the world ends up telling us, hey, that's not for you, that's not for you. When I was a child, I knew I was supposed to be an artist, a musician, and a speaker because I've always been very eloquent, and a writer. But then as I grew, I was told, be a lawyer, be a doctor, be this, and I listened to them, and I ran away from that. And I got depressed for the better part of it because I did not know who I was anymore. What voice did you have as a child? The voice that you had, you need to find it again. That might be the key to your happiness. Yeah? Like, what did you want to do? Did you want to sing? Start singing. Sing without worrying about your key. Like, even if you're off key, who cares? You're happy and you're singing. Whatever it is that you wanted to do as a child, do it. Like, you have to be patient with yourself in finding yourself, because most of the time, if you had a difficult childhood, you no longer know who you are. So be patient and know that even building something good takes some time. And building you, the version of you that you want, the version of you that should be all out here, the version of you that you want to unleash out here, will take time. And and it takes some investment, and it will take hard work. But if you are patient, you are going to hack it. You are going to actually hack it. So be patient. It doesn't matter how long it takes you, but as long as you do not stop, and as long as every day you take one step towards your goals and your destiny, as long as every day you work on at least one thing, pray, meditate, journal, see a therapist, dance, forgive, all those things that we've said, you just have to do them step by step, not at a go. And remember, your brain froze at some point. There's something called brain freezing, where the trauma that happened to you, sometimes you can be operating from that angle and you don't even know. Okay, so let's say you were beaten let's say you went through a traumatic experience at 14. You might be 35 today, but you're still reasoning as that 14-year-old. So again, you have to be patient now to move the 14-year-old to be a 34-year-old, because physically you're 34, but mentally you're still fighting the struggles you went as a child. And if that is you, then you need to be patient with yourself. Imagine what it takes to heal 20 years of pain, or 10 years of pain, or whatever years that you experience. And now you are a grown adult. It will be a lot, and it will need you patience. I can tell you, I started this healing journey for years now, but I still break, I still cry. That tells you it's not an overnight thing. As long as you're self-aware. Okay. You have to be self-aware that you have this and you're struggling with this. And then be patient and put in the work, because it's not going to do it for itself. Like, work has to be done. That's all for today. This marks the end of our today video. So family, if you can relate with this video, if you had a difficult childhood, I am here sending you a big warm hug. And I want you to tell you that you are not alone. And I want to tell you that you are not defined by your past. Your difficult childhood, your pains and struggles might have shaped you, but they do not define you. Your scars do not define you. You are defined by the strength that those scars left. I want to tell you that healing is not about pretending or faking or acting as if nothing happened to you. Healing is about accepting that it happened and choosing to be a better person, choosing to rise above all that pain and become the best version of yourself and give yourself love that you were never given. Healing is about knowing, you know what? You have a very difficult childhood, but that is not your story. That was just the beginning. It's about deciding that you are going to rewrite your story, that you are going to start again, creating the beautiful life that you deserved and the future that you once hoped before the challenges of life stopped you. It's about deciding that you can write your story to be beautiful. You still have the chapters, like blank pages that no one has touched them. And you are the author, and you can actually rewrite that story to be very, very beautiful. It's about knowing that you can actually decide to just use your pain to fuel your purpose and bring others with you, heal other people with you, and use your pain to make sure that no one else goes through what you went through, and become the change that you wish to see when you were a child. It's about choosing to be that person that God made you to be. And as we said, I am brighter. And I have had my scars with my childhood. I've gone through a lot as a child. But here I am, shining in my fancy suit. Here I am, choosing to wake up every day and decide to show up every day and not let my past define you. I am choosing to live differently and to be a better parent, a better friend, a better sister, a better parent to my future kids, or even my cats. I am choosing to be a better version of what I wish someone was to me. And you can do the same. See you in the next video.